Yeah. Righty, here we are. Welcome to the Animal Conservation Commission meeting. We've rescheduled from our normal week this month to today um, because of, I think it was Veterans Day happened last week. So thanks everyone for changing around. I guess we'll call a meeting to order and then see, is there any public comment out there? Oh, there's Jim. Hey, Jim. Looks like he's okay for now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Next thing is approval of the minutes. So I sent those around last week for folks to take a look at. If anyone noticed anything we missed, no, looks good. Any other discussion? Yeah, Tom. Go ahead.
I didn't attend, so I probably won't, I'll just abstain, but I did sort of look at our notes versus the subsequent planning commission. And I think there was some discussion about what had been discussed here that wasn't in our minutes. A lot of the stuff on the PSAs. Um, I don't know if that's worth revisiting or, um, but I would say the planning commission, had a really good discussion on several things that have been discussed here in your meeting, which I wasn't at. And it wasn't reflected in our minutes. But there was references to what we had discussed, which aren't in our minutes. So I don't know if we need to flesh them out or just in the future, sort of.
Okay. Well, the other thing we can do if you want is like there were some specific things that you wanted to kind of bring up. We can talk about them in this meeting to make sure to kind of get it on the record.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because it could very well be like there are a lot of conversations that happen sort of individually in between meetings. So it may have been that some extra information sort of came up in between or something.
And I think some of it might have been in public comment as opposed to the regular agenda items. So that could have been part of it.
Okay.
But yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, given that consideration that Tom mentioned, we can talk about that stuff this meeting. Do you want to just go ahead and talk about that now? Or?
No.
Okay. Any other stuff on the minutes we want to make changes to? Okay, so we'll go ahead and vote to approve the minutes if that's cool. Does somebody want to make a motion to do that? Okay, anyone want a second? All right, any other discussion? Cool. All in favor? Aye. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just has Margaret?
She's on.
She is on. Okay, cool. Great.
Hey guys, I don't know. I don't see an option to enable my video, only audio. That's fine with me, but I'm here.
Okay, cool. Hey, Margaret. Um, okay, so let's just go ahead into the reports and updates. So there were a couple specific things that we had in here, and then also I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I missed. So we'll just kind of cruise through these. Tom, did you want to give a little update on sort of where the racetrack stuff is at?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll try to be real quick. There's nothing really firm, I think most people know there's a very small group of residents who are studying the heck out of what, if anything, private residents can do. Wendy Leppel, who I think attended the last meeting, is really 80% of that group. And she's done incredible information gathering, talking to government agencies, nonprofits, big ones. I think it's relevant to us, the conservation, because, the grandstand is an eyesore. 60% of that property is paved. It's basically not, and it's paved right up to 100 feet of the river. It would never be allowed today. It's a safety hazard, obviously. And if anything could be done, either the right buyer or a citizen group buying, I mean, there's a lot that could be done in terms of making it, taking up some of that pavement, making parts of it a park. I know the multi-use trail idea between Bennington and Williamstown has a trail going through there. If nothing else, maybe if there is a buyer, we get an easement for that. So, that can be protected. Anyway, I think, it's worth keeping an eye on. I talked to Steven Solar, he's the general manager. He claims that there's interest in the property. He doubts that it's going to go to auction. He thinks the deal is going to be struck before January 7th. But then Wendy has talked to BCRC and other officials, and they're really skeptical. It's, they say it's not developable. It's too much in the floodplain. It's too expensive to do stuff. But I haven't heard anybody say you couldn't just put more solar fields in there, raised up. So I don't know who to believe at this point. I tried to call the realtor a couple times. He didn't return my calls, which is strange because realtors talk to everybody. Wendy had a great conversation with Senator Bongartz. He's our senator. He said if there was an interest, you could do a community land trust, which is relatively easy. It's not a full 501(c)(3). It's kind of the first step towards that. But at least you'd be positioned, if nothing else, if there was no sale, if nobody had any interest and the bank was just anxious to sort of, here, take it for a nickel, at least you'd have a financial entity, an account that could basically pay that nickel. Obviously, it's much more involved than that because there's liabilities and so forth, but it could be an easy step. I think there's going to be some discussion of whether this small group wants to do that. So we'll see. That's pretty much.
Tom, so I've heard rumors over the years that there's a lot of like asbestos in the building and sort of toxic stuff around.
Yeah, who knows?
So nobody does know?
Not that, I don't know. I don't think this group knows.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it
I mean,
is.
that could add to the cost of cleanup.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna likely be a
$2 million.
It'll be, we'll need like probably federal money in order to be able to clean it up, because there's that, it is an asbestos hazard among other things, I think.
I think Solar estimated $2 million just to take the grandstand down.
2 million.
2 million.
That's great to have kind of a number in our heads just to remember. One other thing to add to that was, sort of initially we had voted to create a subcommittee to kind of help with this process.
Yeah.
Since then, in discussions with Wendy and discussions with Tara, it was sort of advised that we do not sort of hold that within the town.
Yeah.
It sounds like they found sort of a better direction.
Right.
So I think at the end of the meeting, if we have time, I want to do just sort of a procedural undoing of that subcommittee, just to we're cool there. But that being said, like Tom, it sounds like you're going to be kind of a good point person there and kind of keep us in the loop. And although I know that this is a political thing, like there may come a moment where we can kind of put our thumbs on the scale somehow to kind of help with this. So I don't know when that will be, but it's a cool thing to just kind of keep in the loop on what's going on. Okay, any other racetrack related questions, comments, concerns?
The thing I would say about it is that in our minutes, it says that our motion to create the subcommittee, it says motion not carried. So I think we may have not voted on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even better. That's great. Okay, good job, guys. Okay, so yeah, right. So the next thing is the mission statement sort of discussion and stuff. I got votes from everybody. Ashley, did you send me votes by email? And I just lost.
I think I did, but I also brought them.
You brought them. Okay,
I don't
cool.
remember if I did, so.
Great, awesome. Well, then I'll just say that. And I've got votes from everybody.
You got mine,
I did. Yep. So I will kind of plug these all into a spreadsheet and do the ranked voting and just kind of let you guys know where we come out and we can sort of formally adopt this the next time at the next meeting. And we don't want to let perfect be the enemy of good here. I know these aren't perfect, and whichever one we pick, we may want to make some changes to, and we can do that at any time. It's just a starting point. So I think this will be really good, and we can just kind of put it behind us for the moment, and then whenever we feel like we have some sort of time and energy to revisit it, we can do that.
Well, something may come up that we want to add in.
Sure, well, and certainly, like, I'm happy to we can have a discussion about it at the next meeting, and people can suggest edits to the specific one that we all sort of decided. If you guys want to do a little bit of wordsmithing, I just don't want to belabor it too much. That's all. I just want to make sure we get through it because there's a lot of other cool projects going on. Okay, the next one I had on here was updates from other committees and commission meetings that people might have attended or sort of other relevant news that people might have heard sort of in between meetings that we might want to know about. Any kind of interesting gossip?
I've been going to the
Yeah.
planning commission, and I think they're doing some great work. And I also, Megan had suggested we take the environmental leadership course, which is offered by the state natural resources and
Fish and wildlife.
thank you. I think it's a pretty good course. It's pretty easy. But one thing that I took away from that is a lot of planning commissions are hooked into the town plan discussions in their towns. Obviously, it's late for us, but that is a main thing that our planning commission now is doing is updating the town plan.
Wait, you said planning commissions are hooked in?
I'm sorry, a lot of the conservation, you wrote that, a lot of the conservation commissions, what they're trying to do is give input on the environmental aspect of the town plan.
Yeah.
See, that's a natural fit, yeah. So I think it's not saying we have to jump in. I think it's kind of too late in the process, but I think it's good to keep the communication going between the two commissions. And David, I was just going to try to summarize some of the good stuff I thought you guys have been doing. So correct me if I get any of it wrong, but they spent a lot of time looking at the sewer capacity of the town, trying to see if is there any way to do infill development, in the villages, either housing or businesses, which is really a progressive idea. Like instead of sprawling out, what can we do to keep development? And, there is some capacity for increased sewage. As I understand it, the problem is the drinking water capacity, the drought made that very clear that if anything, in certain parts of Pownell, there's not enough water supply in the aquifers in times of drought. So, but I thought that was a really good investigation they did. Another thing, the planning commission looked at this tier 1B exemption from 250. So apparently, like for, sort of bigger, up to 50 units of housing, you can say, we want to be exempt from the 250 process, which is onerous, and good at the same time. The planning commission decided to recommend not to do that. That there was a lot of questions about, okay, are we then responsible for doing the environmental review and assessment? And what if something bad happens? And the select board in turn accepted that recommendation. So the town won't be looking for this kind of exemption. Still looking for housing and still looking for development, obviously, but not willing to sort of forego the normal 250 process to make that happen. And then just like tonight, in their meeting tonight, this is sort of, I thought there was a couple things that were important to bring up. One, Scott from BCRC said that they are now sort of involved in the scoping study. So I guess it's advancing in some respects then.
Yeah, I think Tara has kind of reached out to them, let them know we got it, and they've sort of assigned, I haven't heard formally, but it sounds like they're interested in helping us sort of manage that grant.
Do you know if we've actually gotten it officially yet, or?
I don't know what qualifies as official. Like they told us that they're gonna give us the grant and that they're gonna set up sort of a preliminary meeting. But we haven't I don't think it's been official yet until we actually kind of meet with them and make sure that everything looks good.
Well, one thing I was going to suggest, and I don't know if we need a formal motion, but I think you and I agree that planning commission is the better commission to sort of take this forward. The scoping study of Pownell Center. This is something that Nate and I got some money to do, but I think it's more in their court. So as a planning commission, so I just throw that out there. They mentioned tonight their chair and several of their members that they're very interested in this scope study and having input and so forth. So maybe that's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of imagining that maybe that would be like we kind of do something similar to what we did for the Vorak grant, like create a working group that'll have a couple folks from planning. If there's someone from Conservation Commission that wants to be in on it, probably Tara, and someone from BCRC, and that crew can kind of push it forward. Cause, yeah, I definitely don't want to be more involved than I need to, but also I think it'll be good for us to kind of at least know what's going on and have a little bit of influence over kind of, yeah, at least what the priorities are.
The historical aspect, right, which is under our,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's,
talking about center pound right here.
well, yeah, like, I mean, there's a historical aspect, but it's more about the downtown strip. So it's more about like I think where we come in is like accessibility. It's like, all the infrastructure that makes it more sort of human friendly, I think kind of is like falls into our purview, but also the planning commission as well. So yeah, but I don't think that's one that we as a conservation could assume.
We don't have to do anything else on it.
I don't think, yeah, unless we want to.
Okay,
I don't think we
cool.
need to. Though I'm sure the more help we can give, if individuals want to give Tara help on it, I'm sure she'd love to help.
Well, then the last thing is in terms of the agenda sort of gaps, or yeah, that I saw, or minutes, I guess.
mhm.
I guess there was some discussion here about these PFOAs
PFOAs.
or As, and that maybe some houses in town would be impacted, not being able to be sold and so forth. I didn't see that reflected in our minutes. I didn't know if that was part of the public comment section or.
Well, that was something that Ashley mentioned.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
if that wasn't in the minutes, we should probably add it in there. I mean, I think that was kind of the crux of it, right? Was that like there's potentially a maybe you should, I don't wanna.
Well, it depends on what the land use is. So if it's gonna be used for agricultural production. If it tests high for PFOA or PFAS or whatever you wanna call it, they can't get any federal money for subsidies.
Just for ag, so.
I mean, I don't know, that's all I know about. I mean,
Well, but it also-
I think it's worth exploring, how it might affect homeowners too, because, yeah, I mean,
Is this,
it's great for property value.
Well, yeah, it's like lead testing, right? It's like if you.
but what's the source? Is it new state policy? Is it federal policy? What's changed that basically, because the planning commission is concerned that something has changed. Some policy, some rule regulation has changed that will affect houses in Pownell.
They lowered the,
Standard.
what the safe threshold for like,
Oh,
unless you
they mean-
consume
The like federal government.
before it,
The state.
before it causes, health problems.
Where is that? Is it in regulation? Is it in legislation?
I'm not sure. I think it's the Department of Health. But I think it's the DOH, the Department of Health, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, yeah, so I guess like the other concern was like with, with lead paint, it's like if you've tested your house and there's lead paint, you have to disclose it when you sell it.
Mhm.
And it's probably similar for PFAS. It's like if you've done testing, you have to disclose it, which you don't have to.
Right now,
Oh, okay,
I know people are working on it,
okay.
like trying to get realtors kind of in on it and get materials together so that they can,
Hmm,
because when you close on a house, you get the packet and it's got all the stuff in it. So we are trying to like get that going for PFAS as well.
That to be a surprise after you bought.
Yeah,
That's what, that's what happened to me. I didn't know what it was until I moved here.
And the last thing is, there was discussion in the planning commission about, our forest management plan.
Mhm.
That, as it relates to timber harvest, the actual minutes from their meeting says the Conservation Commission is working with the forester to develop a forest management plan on the town forest. The goal is to harvest timber in order to offset taxes on the property, but I didn't see anything in our minutes about that.
I had that in the minutes.
okay, I don't, so yeah, we did discuss that, and I have something I wanted to kind of add in because this is, well, so yeah, I mean, we might as well talk about it now. So yeah, so this forest management plan has a lot of different elements. I guess the reason we talked about that in the meeting is because there was a discussion that happened. I guess like in a select board meeting, someone mentioned that they wanted to do some logging. That then again got repeated in the planning meeting, again in so. What I had said in the last meeting was that like, we've been working with Tessa McGann, the like forester for our sort of region, and
We mean who?
we mean like the Vorak working group. It's like that. It's like Tara, Jen, myself, Donald Campbell, Mike Gardner, a few others. So part of that is a timber management plan, which is not necessarily logging, though there is some interest in sort of whether or not logging could happen. But it's more like Tessa is sort of going to be doing this report to the select board along with the rest of our working group about the management plan. This is December 4th, so this is coming up pretty soon. We are all welcome to attend. I'm going to kind of present my little bit just about the trails and stuff there. So you can kind of get filled in on all of those doings. So in terms of logging, like it is theoretically possible. I think none of us have the full picture of what's going on, what would be possible, whether it makes financial sense. So it is being discussed, but only in very conceptual.
And so it's not the Conservation Commission, it's however you want to describe the Vorak.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we can get involved in it as much as we want to. And like I'm very involved in it, but it's not a Conservation Commission specific thing. Other than that, like I wrote I wrote and had meetings and helped edit like the drafts of the timber management goals with Tessa, which then like made its way into the draft plan. So
I think it's kind of important to be clear in who's doing what, so that public can understand what's happening and who's responsible.
Yeah, it's really tricky and it's super opaque, and there's so many people that sort of have their hands in so many
Overlapping stuff. Yep.
Yep, for sure. You're not wrong. Okay,
Can I ask Tom one question there? You mentioned that it felt like it was a little late in the town plan development process for the Conservation Commission to click into it. How far along is the town plan process, and are there any opportunities for us to get involved, given it is such an important component of many conservation commissions?
Can I pass?
Yeah, do you want to speak to that, David?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
David Fowl is here tonight he just is sitting in as the liaison from the Planning Commission to our commission. So he's a perfect person to ask.
Yeah, I can't see him on camera, but I hear his voice.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been stumbling around on a lot of the major issues and trying to start to think about writing it, but we really hadn't worked out until tonight how this all fits together in this working with the BCRC. And I think I got a much clearer vision of that now. So in answer to your question, there's plenty of time to get involved.
Okay.
And I'm not sure exactly how to make that happen, but I think just the fact that Tom's coming to our meetings and I'm coming to yours will help facilitate that. We'll see how that works, but the more I learn about your priorities, the more I can make sure that the Planning Commission hears that. And then if we need more input, hopefully we can facilitate that.
One, Margaret had sort of expressed some interest in getting plugged in on that too. So yeah, like if at these meetings, you feel like there's a section that maybe it would make sense for us to take a stab at, like we're happy to sort of try and help contribute however we can on that, certainly.
Yeah, and I don't know where your expertise lies, but I mean, right now, frankly, I'm really trying to figure out about this whole river and the absorption and all that stuff. And there's some stuff in the old plan about it, but I'm not sure I fully understand it. And maybe some of you do. And so I'd love to get more educated.
Well, yeah, and if we don't, we might be able to connect you with somebody who does.
He came and talked to us, who I thought seemed.
Maybe Jim Henderson.
Yeah.
He's definitely kind of the local.
No, it was.
And one thing I realized in this environmental education courses, there's so much great data and resources that I wasn't aware of that could probably inform what you're doing. Certainly us, it's informed me.
Are you talking about a flood plan or, things like that? I mean, flood readiness?
Well, so there are several different layers. There's evidently, you just learned tonight that there's a lot of things that we can do. Should natural disaster occur and wipe out a $1 million bridge. If we have this, and this in place, which includes flood plans and mitigation plans and things like that, then our reimbursement rate is higher. So it seems like, yeah, we should do this.
Yeah,
So we have multiple of them done. They might need some revision, and there's one particular one that we haven't done at all.
Hazard mitigation.
Right, so this is what we want, at least in my mind.
yeah, I
I
think
want
that's
to, we take that up,
important.
but this is complete overlap. I don't know how that, you know, maybe you guys should write it and I'll just make sure it gets incorporated. I don't know. I'm still a novice at this whole process.
Okay, well, so we'll, it sounds like there is potentially opportunities for us to plug in, so we'll continue kind of looking for those sort of as they arise.
Well, I think at the very least, we can encourage them to dig more deeply into
Absolutely.
readiness, because that's getting something on my mind.
Well,
It wasn't always, it would always seem like, well, we made it through Irene, so we're good to go forever.
yeah. I've only been on this committee for less than a year, and this is my first foray into trying to do a plan like this, so I don't really know a lot about how it gets developed, but my sense has been a bunch of novices doing our best to
Yes.
come up with some good ideas, and we could do better than that. So
Who knows?
learn how that works.
Actually, your idea of the resiliency program could work somehow in forming what you're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I brought that up to the planning commission, just so they would be aware of it, because I think that sounds like a tremendous program.
Yep.
And I sent the questionnaire that you would forward it to. So thank you. Awesome.
So I have on that.
My only other comment is the class that Tom's taking, I think that's the one I took in the spring. And Jens Helke, I think is his last name, who's one of the teachers of it, also supports conservation commissions. We've been wondering kind of the right moment to maybe invite him to one of our meetings. Maybe there's an opportunity to connect with him to kind of go into more detail about how our Concom could support the town plan. Maybe we can pull in an expert like that to talk us through.
Good thinking.
Maybe we should have a combined meeting.
That would be really cool. Yeah. If
That would be great.
do you want to reach out to him and see like if that's in his wheelhouse? Yeah, maybe we could get him to just do a quick presentation to kind of all of us together.
Not too quick, so.
Yeah, I'm happy to. He's been the one who's been on a lot of the webinars that I've been listening to stay connected to state priorities. And it is part of his day job to help Concom. So
Awesome.
Great.
Amazing. Okay. I have a quick fundraising update, which is mostly just me taking responsibility for screwing up on this grant thing. So I had meant to get a recommendation from us to apply for this A&R grant to do some trail development. And I had been working on the application, but I forgot to actually get permission from the select board in time to put in the work that I had done. So unfortunately, for better or worse, we missed it for this year. The way I'm sort of rationalizing this to myself is that we just got this scoping study. We have a bunch of other huge projects, so maybe it's better that we wait on it for a year because we probably don't have the capacity to like manage it, even if we got the money. So my bad, everyone. That's totally on me. But we're definitely eligible. I do know that we're eligible now because I went through the whole process.
All good.
Okay, rainwater barrels.
Yes, well, my sense is that this is probably gonna be more of a spring.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Follow up all with that, and I got some clarification about prices and minimum orders and those other kinds of things, so we can proceed if and when we want to. The next step I wanted to take on it is to just poke around a little bit and see if I might be able to find any kind of grant funding to subsidize them, so that we can bring down the costs for residents.
Great idea. Awesome.
Let you know what I unearth.
Love it. Great. Well, yeah, let us know if there's anything we can do to help on that.
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing, so this is also another Nate mistake thing. So this subcommittee open meeting law discussion. So my clearly my reading of the sort of the open meeting laws and the Concom handbook does not correspond with the town lawyer's reading of. So what I've learned is that we should not create subcommittees to take on projects. Instead, we should just assign a point person to do it instead. It's a purely semantic thing. But I guess just there was some discrepancy in sort of what would trigger an open meeting if there was a subcommittee meeting. So it's cleaner just to have one person being a point person. They report back on what's going on in the project. They can pull other people in. So basically, and I'm gonna look into how to do this because I don't know what the procedure is, but like I think what we want to do basically is just undo all of the subcommittees that we created over the course of the last couple of weeks, and then just continue operating as we were, where like there are people that are working on all these projects. I don't think it changes anything from day to day. It's just a procedural thing that I think I screwed up. And I just want to make sure that we're doing the best we can to not to not break the law and to not like make anybody in the town offices like nervous that we're gonna get like sued or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
mean, and I think it's important to say that we're not holding like secret meetings.
yeah, for
You know,
sure.
it's not like we're actually still having subcommittees, but we're just not calling it that. No, it's like each person has interests and they're exploring those interests and they're reporting back at the main meeting.
Right, and yeah, I think that's the thing that's important to remember is that like we can have discussions with up to one below a quorum, like outside of a meeting, and there's no problem with that. As long as like no decisions are getting made at those discussions, and then like anytime we want to like take a move in a direction on something, we just have to like discuss it as a group, make sure everyone's on board, and then that person can go off and execute. So yeah, there have not been any subcommittee meetings. The reason that I set them up is because I was trying to comply with the law and make sure we were doing it above board, and in doing so, I like did the opposite, I think. So again, like yeah, there was no like malicious intent on anybody's part. And I'm gonna work with Tara just to figure out sort of what we need to do officially to make sure that like we are sort of where we need to be on that stuff. So I will report back on that if we need to like do some sort of weird procedural thing or whatever. Okay, snow fencing at Hoosick Bend Trail. This is great. We got so many cool projects going on here.
So we were donated a big chunk of fence. And so, you know, that it's bright orange plastic, and we managed to get that up. But before I'm starting at the wrong end, because first we dug up a bunch of saplings, oak and sumac and maple. And there was a hickory, and we planted them close to the erosion, as close as we could so that we can stabilize that top part of the bank. So and then we put up the fence, and I put up a notice in Front Porch Forum requesting that Fisher persons not cut through there where the fence is, because as we were putting it up, some parents walked by and told us that their teenagers love that particular spot.
Well, you know what we can tell them now is to go check out Clayton Park now that there's down there to fish.
Did I miss anything? No, so we've had good rains.
Yeah.
So, and we know that you know, trees that are native to an area will do better than. So we feel like we got some very nice little saplings in around.
Awesome work, guys.
Nate donated our T-posts to support the fencing.
Yes, that's right. And so then in the spring, we're going to do some sort of the recommended type of terracing, where you dig a trench and then plant below it. It's very strange. I would have thought the opposite, that you'd build up the earth, but no, you want to keep the water from washing down over your plantings. So we thought we would put some native wildflowers and
Grasses.
grasses and wildflowers.
Awesome. Because
So probably maybe go to Wing and a Prayer or somewhere like, is that, yeah. And get some plants.
great.
And we'll probably need some help then. Cause it's kind of a hard thing to do.
Treacherous, as we know.
It's very steep. Yeah, you remember, didn't you fall down that?
Yeah, I did. But that's why I was gonna ask Leonard, is that a better fishing spot?
No.
I'll never tell.
Yeah, I did,
There is an open path that goes down to the river, but maybe that's not good for fishing. I don't know.
It's great for fishing over there.
it's,
Really good for fishing over there.
So there's no reason for the teenagers to be.
we call water that goes over,
Yeah. Like point people to a better way to get down would help over there. I mean, I don't know anything about fishing.
Probably, but there's a lot of knotweed that blocks the path that actually goes to where they want to go fishing.
Oh, I see.
There is a path there. You just gotta Indiana Jones through it.
Good.
Can you clear that? Or is that?
Yeah, you can clear it.
Wrong.
You can clear knotweed. It's an invasive species.
Are people still fishing or is fishing kind of over?
Oh, no, they're still going.
Okay. Huh, all
I
right.
just
well,
feel like it's one thing to block off a good fishing spot, but if there's something good or better that we
Well,
can
there
give them
is-
access to, that
So
would
they-
make it more effective, right?
Okay, well, so do you, yeah, I mean, we would have to like get together some people that want to go take it out. Like, I don't know whether we'd be able to do it now or over the winter or in the spring or whatever, but I think it's.
Let's be up again and,
Like, I think this is kind of the classic situation where like,
You got to stay on it.
yeah.
Just once a year, you got to go through a couple times a year.
uh-huh,
Clear it out.
okay.
I'm gonna have the
It's
same
just-
problem down Clayton, but
I wonder if we
Kind
have
of a visual.
a couple of people that like fishing down there, or a couple of the kids that are into fishing.
So I tried to do but who reads the Front Porch Forum? I mean, I'm sure teenage fishermen don't,
Yeah,
but anyway.
I saw it.
okay.
Yeah, I tried to say, hey, anybody, if you have any thoughts
Yeah.
about the fishing here or the flooding or what it's like, or, let us know.
that's the
But-
problem you're gonna have with fishermen though. They're not gonna want to tell you where the good spots are.
Right, of course.
No,
Just like-
nobody in your right mind. Somebody with his holding a fishing pole and ask them where the good spots are, they're not gonna tell you.
Right, they're gonna tell
They'll
you.
tell you a spot, they're not gonna tell you the spot.
It's just like mushroom hunters,
Tricky.
same thing. Morel hunters are the same way.
Well, yeah, let's just, let's keep this on our radar. Like, I think there is a place for us to plug in at the Hoosick Bend Trail. We'll have to do some thinking about sort of what the best, given sort of that there is some sort of secrecy involved in this, like how we can sort of try and allow folks to get to the fishing spots they want to while avoiding, creating additional erosion spots like the ones that we're working
Yeah.
on.
Thinking maybe, I mean, I do think it eroded because the people went over the sides.
No, it's just the way the river hits against
Yeah.
that wall.
That's what I thought. So maybe we could.
If you go probably
Trail a little bit further. too,
150
like-
yards past that
Yeah.
spot where it's eroding. Where the path where you come off the parking area,
Mhm.
where you go across the walking bridges,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
actually get to the top of the hill,
Mhm.
and the path goes left to right. There's actually a path that goes
Goes
straight
right
across.
straight.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
That's the one that's covered in Japanese knotweed. It's probably about this wide right now.
I see.
I would say I went there over the summer and my kids could barely crawl through.
Back and forth.
City.
And I know a guy who makes
Yeah.
paths this wide.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah, I mean,
like.
right equipment is too hard.
But it could be the time of
I
year.
don't know.
Dude in a machete.
Anyway, a machete. huh?
Okay, well, yeah, let's
Aside.
let's think on that, yeah.
Thinking as a bush hog, but I don't know if you can get a tractor down there.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, yeah.
Not if you value your tractor.
Hand tools, even like, like battery powered stuff or whatever, maybe we could kind of hack into it a little bit. Well, yeah, we should take a look down, we can take a walk down there and take a look and kind of, sort of get a little map of kind of where the problem areas are and where the sort of ideal priority spots might be to
And
work
how do
on.
you even?
I can show you how to clear it out by hand.
Like, what's the
So what was that?
What's the management plan or I don't even know.
I know.
Technique.
Like, I think you just have to keep.
You just have to keep on pulling it. Do you know anything about sort of like
It in my,
management? Is it just, you just kind
You
of
gotta keep going after it.
Keep going for it.
You're never gonna get ahead of it, especially being next to the river. You can't
kind of
use any
like
kind of
bamboo.
poisons or pesticides or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's literally, you got the reverse headlock, machete, chop down as low to the ground as you can.
It's bamboo, basically.
Mhm.
yeah, it's just like.
You're not really, and it's a lot. So
Mhm.
You're not gonna do much with just like hand tools. But
You
Have
can
you been to
eat
Clayton
it.
Park yet?
you can use you can use it. I mean, you can harvest it.
Hmm.
It's,
Makes great honey too.
well, I mean, I'm just saying bamboo has 1,000 uses.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if knotweed is similar to bamboo, there's no reason why we couldn't use it even to
Well, the fence.
stake up your new seedlings, or you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Well, you know, as with most things, I think the sort of limiting factor is just how much like human power we want to throw at it, right? But yeah, it seems like if there's already a social trail there, even if it's just, you know, like volunteering on a rotation to just go out there and just try and fight it back so that it's a foot wide and people can kind of go through sideways, just, you know, we do the best we can with what we have, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth exploring.
does the high school have a required community service? I don't know that my high school did, like I do 20 hours or something in my senior year.
Oh.
I don't know if they have that, we could probably just say, hey, we're looking for volunteers and.
Yeah. Totally.
You know, you can.
they had a club that did volunteer work.
Yeah,
When you mentioned there were a couple of kids in was it high school or elementary school or something that were interested in doing some kind of volunteer work? You know, cutting trails and stuff like that?
no, they were adult learners.
Oh, right, with Eric, right, okay. Someone else was telling me that there was a group of high school kids that are really interested in getting.
Well, I'm thinking, because if
involved.
people that go down there are the teenagers.
Yeah.
Why not get them invested in their
Yeah.
own fishing spot, let them maintain it?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's definitely like, I feel like that's kind of right in the Concom wheelhouse, is like trying to kind of do that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anybody who's sort of excited to kind of start working that angle, because I know have you heard of the Greenagers? So we were talking with them about doing some trail work in the town forest. I think they're based in like a little further south in the Berkshires or something, but they said that when they do projects, they like to go and kind of recruit from the local schools and sort of build this core of volunteers. So like there may be a way to sort of get all of those groups linked up too.
Sort of thinking like the same way that the Cubs is sort of self-policed and self-managed. If you could get something similar, you know, just kids who are fishing there on a.
It isn't self, it's.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, like,
Nation.
The thing that makes it
It's like me, it takes.
self-damaging
Yeah.
is that there are people that care about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so how do we get Pownell?
well, yeah, so you have to like, you know, sort of create like a fishing club at the local school or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's a super cool project. I think the big hurdles there would be like, making sure the town isn't concerned about liability issues with like having kids volunteer, and then just going and like approaching some of the schools and just saying like, is there a desire for this? Like, what would the liability issues be on their end?
It's very, I think you'll find that the schools are even more conscious of liability than the town is.
Well, and you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be
It's hard to.
school associated. It could just be a group of people made up of kids that happen to go to the same school.
Right, that's what I was saying, like if you
Yeah.
have a requirement, like the seniors,
Mhm.
whatever the high school is.
Anthony up here.
Yeah, if the seniors have a community service requirement, we can tell the school.
Yeah.
Like, say, hey, this is what we're working on, and
Mhm.
if you have any kids that are interested, we have one person that can show you the ropes.
She's wanted to
Mhm.
teach kids how to use the machete, haven't she?
No, and then it's not like.
Yeah, they learn.
It's not necessarily Concom doing it,
Uh-huh.
the kids are doing it on their own as a requirement.
Okay. Well, so is there anyone who's interested in just doing a little further sort of fleshing out and thinking on this, make a couple calls and just kind of get an idea of kind of what our options might be?
I will, because I know the guy who is now the superintendent, so that used to be the.
Awesome. Excellent. And if you want to talk with, I can't remember, her first name is Beth, the principal at the elementary school here. I've got her contact info too. She's very nice.
Great.
Cool. Okay.
Scouting troops, other kinds of ways too.
Yeah, yeah. And
Boy Scouts, Boy Scouts,
Oh,
Girl Scouts.
Is anymore?
I don't really know.
We'll find
I
out.
think.
Yeah, sure.
4-H,
Uh,
4-H, isn't there?
Yeah, there's.
I think there are some local 4-H things. You can even, Bennington College and Williams, I think both have like these winter study types of things. So there might be ways to pull college students in to do some projects. So yeah, like if we can find some good conduits and build some relationships where we could like build a program where this sort of happens on a regular basis, that would be incredible. But yeah, it's a lot of work. So good luck.
Thanks.
So you're the point person, we'll call it. Okay, Concom newsletter. So Megan did a post on Front Porch Forum. Yeah, like I didn't end up writing anything, but I think just if folks want to kind of just take responsibility for like if they're working on a cool project, they want to brag about it, if they want public input, just like I think Front Porch Forum is like the best bang for your buck, maybe Facebook too, if you're on Facebook. So yeah, feel free to sort of share stuff on behalf of the Concom, ask questions and whatever, just like trying to engage people is great.
So the idea of running it by the whole group has gone the wayside.
I mean, I think we could, but also like as
I
long as
think-
people are writing as themselves, it's
Okay.
fine to talk, yeah, just don't speak unilaterally on behalf of the Concom.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm a member of the Concom, here's what I'm working on. And then, yeah, if we want to do anything more official, I think we probably should talk about it a little bit before we put it out there. Just so, yeah, because I was going to write about drought stuff and then all of a sudden it started raining. So yeah, with the nature of like having a month in between meetings makes it hard to like stay relevant sometimes. Okay,
You want us to send them to you first, like if we did something, or like we just,
well, we should talk about,
I mean, if that's like, if it's a Concom newsletter.
well, yeah, so I mean, that's the question is like, do we want to do a Concom
I-
newsletter?
The Front Porch Forum is not, as far as I know, it's not set up to have, I mean, when you say newsletter, you're talking about more than one story from a certain.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
I think Front Porch Forum in its own right is kind of a newsletter.
Yeah.
Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not,
The digest.
it's not gonna take, it's not gonna take several stories from, it's just almost like announcements more than anything.
Okay, well, so it sounds like maybe the consensus is then like, let's not do anything official and just like as community members, if we feel inclined to share stuff about what we're working on, like that's our prerogative. And like the more that we can engage people about kind of what we're doing and ask questions and whatever, like as long as we're not, I think as long as we're not like taking a stand as a conservation commission and we're just operating as individual, we can kind of, I don't think it really.
But I think it'd be good
Better.
for like Leonard to tell the story of what you've been working on.
Well, yeah, and he did on Facebook and it was great.
It's like really cool because you don't see posts like that come from the town that often.
Yeah,
I would love to see more of it.
Well,
Can you put it on Front Porch?
send it to Tara,
Yeah.
whatever you're working on, send it to Tara and she can post it right to the
Yeah,
town's official page.
Okay.
that's a great idea, like, yeah, if you want to write something, you can put it up on Front Porch Forum as yourself, but also it's true that like anytime it's a feel-good story, Tara always wants to post it
Yeah.
on the town spot too.
Yeah, and I think that would be better because people are already following that and it's not, and it's not just Concom.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
okay,
So the problem with the town one is that people can't comment on it.
That's
So
good.
like.
That's
when-
not a problem.
With my original post on that, I wanted people
Yeah.
to talk.
see.
I wanted what people thought. I
Yeah,
want
she
people
put a
to go
link
down
on
there, check it out, write back what you want to see.
Yeah.
How do you want this to be? And you can't do that through the towns.
So what you can do if you want is like, my email address, concom4@townhall is like the official sort of like
You can put
complaints
links.
line or whatever.
That's like,
So So you can put that in the post.
That's a good one too, but a lot of people aren't gonna go through the
Yeah.
time and energy
100%
to
agree.
email when they can just go to comment,
Yes,
type up real quick, and then it's already right there.
yes, that's a great reason to have it on. Right.
Good and the bad of social media, because
Yep.
a lot of times you get really awful comments.
We have town pages though that are not like official.
Yes.
Right, they're
Yes.
just townal matters and
Right, and folks. can
another one too.
choose to, participate or not, and they will repost things sometimes, but that's, Panel Matters is not like a town run.
Yeah.
Entity, yeah. Okay, any new stuff on Clayton Park, anything we can help you with, like, how you feeling over there?
It's going real good. I've got a rough idea of what the layout's gonna look like as of right now. If the parking, once I get the pole parking area cleared out, I'll be able to fit at least 10 vehicles in there, 4 pickup trucks with trailers. We'll be able to turn around in the general loading area. The access to the river, I widened that out because I had a discussion with a couple of different boating groups and they need at least 6 to 8 feet to swing down widthwise to get to the river with the float boats, kayaks. So I widened that out a little bit more. I did a tour with Wendy Hopkins from
Yeah.
Hoorah. She is very excited about the progress that's being made down there. So much so that as we were walking and talking, she convinced me to join Hoorah. So I am joining and I will be going to meetings.
That's some
They've been really helpful.
They want to help, out, so
Yeah, they
as
really.
soon as I get
do the work.
all my plans solidified,
Mhm.
we're gonna try to help out as much as I possibly can too.
That's.
So you're gonna have a
super
work
inspiring.
day?
That's great, man.
There's all kinds of, I got delusions of grandeur on this piece of paper. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would like to, I know a lot of people would like to come on to a work day
Mhm.
in the spring, maybe.
that's springtime's when most of the work's gonna start happening more.
Yeah.
The from here on out until spring is gonna be hammering fishing clubs, boating clubs, bird watching societies.
Mhm.
I am getting everybody and anybody I could possibly, within that little 3.5 acres. Anything that you can do there, I'm gonna try to get outside people involved in it too.
Nice.
A lot of people go, fiddlehead burning in there.
There's plenty of that in there too.
Do you want to talk about the like fundraiser idea you had? So, because that kind of went through to select board too, right?
We're on hold. I'm waiting to hear back from them about that.
Okay.
But so was it back in October?
Yeah.
Roughly October. I was listening to a talk radio station and there was this program out in the Cambridge, New York area. They do a art auction called Landscapes for Land Sakes, where this group raises money to help protect farmlands and grasslands and parks in the general area. And all that money goes right towards those projects. I kind of stole the idea. I want to see something like that happen in Pownell with Pownell artists of all walks, whether it's, general art, people that can cook, whatever, whoever wants to donate. And then we can have one big event, silent auction style, have it set up so the artists can meet and greet people and possibly take future orders from that. And then, so I brought it to the select board and select board asked what the money was going to be going for, whether it was for a specific project or a line item. And I replied back, probably line item, because that way we'll be able to use the money for whatever future projects. And I'm waiting to hear back from that part.
So basically it would be like a Concom account and then we could kind of choose where to donate it. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. You should talk with Emily over at the library because I know they sort of try and have like art installations there throughout the year. So maybe there's a month where they don't have anything planned where we could like put all the art in there, let people see it for a couple of weeks and then have like a big party and auction it all off at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the library would love to host art.
Maybe you could do one of those plein air type of, like, art, a bunch of artists come together and do a day or outside and paint. So it'd be more like landscape artists. It sounds like that's the kind of thing that.
Well, I was going to try to get this for the middle of winter and call it the cabin fever reliever.
Nice.
Love it. That's great.
I was at that select board meeting. I wonder if have you sent like an email?
Yeah.
Response? Okay, good, because they were just getting it mixed up with this idea of our subcommittee raising money. they were conflating the two things and thinking, wait a minute, is this a big project? So I think it's clarified.
This is for like little things like I want to build bat houses for Clayton Park in the spring for
Yeah.
help with insect control.
Got it, okay.
So if we had our own money, I don't need to go to the select board and say beg for, or not
You
beg.
don't need a grant anymore, or, because Tara was, I guess.
I would love a grant too, but last I knew that we already missed our deadline for it.
Yeah, I think the grant she was hoping for didn't come through, but certainly, yeah, like this fundraiser could get us started, and then like if there's additional projects down there, we can be looking for.
There's little things like signing,
Yeah, and
Clayton Park.
so we did actually, Parks and Recreation set aside $500 to do some signs for Clayton Park.
And then there was a follow-up email to that. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Oh, maybe I didn't.
That's when they originally went back down to do Clayton Park and they put a sign up, somebody destroyed it.
Right, that was stolen, yes, we were looking for
So
a low option.
I replied to that.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard back on that one yet, that I can take a sign from an old sign from the highway department, an old deer crossing sign, and I can make one. I did it for my Halloween display and it was fantastic. And it would cost the town nothing because they already have all the materials here, so.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, like if you're excited to go ahead and do like a bespoke sign, that's awesome. And yeah, I also, I've been having conversations with this company called DBH that does signs in Bennington. And they have a system for doing like, it's like they'll take an existing sign and they'll print you a decal that you can like stick on it that's really heavy duty. And it like reduces the cost so that if somebody does like punch it off the tree or whatever, we can just like buy another one.
Yeah.
So that's another option, but yeah, whatever you think, and you've got $500 at your disposal for sort of whatever sign related stuff we want to do down there. So, that could be for like a really heavy duty signpost, to hold it or whatever. Cool.
Your bat house idea too, of that could be a really cool community event of like teaching people how to make them, and then some of them go to Clayton Park, and then now people know how to make bat
Does
houses.
schools have wood shop classes anymore? Is that a thing?
At the high school, career development.
I don't teach people.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Like you get them to build them or something.
Anthony does.
Yeah, that's a great
Well,
idea.
it's career development. It's part of the school building itself, but it's a whole separate entity.
CDC.
Yes, you see there, yeah. Cool. Okay, any other projects going on that I forgot about that we need updates on? And I recognize we're coming right to the end here.
That's right, you can't say.
Okay, so we talked about the art show fundraiser, resilient communities, I think was the last thing on here under new business. Do you want to just kind of give a sort of any updates on that or anything you should know?
Yeah, so I met with Lena Greenberg from the Pros last week. Made a lot of really great progress. Basically, so they created the community resilience assessment, which is, I brought it if anyone wants to look at it. It goes through 5 different domains: basic needs and services, environment and natural systems, physical infrastructure, community connections and capacity, and disasters in recent memory. Basically, the way that the workshop would work is we would provide that to anybody that wants it. Just to look at, ask any questions like preliminarily, we'll kind of rough out some kind of like priorities for Pownell. We'll go through the workshop. The first hour would be what's the assessment, how to use it for measuring success. And then the second hour would be Pownell. What are our priorities? And action items like next steps. So I haven't heard back about the grant yet. I don't know if this project is funded yet. I know that it's gonna happen, whether we get this grant or not. Basically, so what and then after the workshop, we'll have a toolkit that we can give out and also add to. That will help with, develop action plans, pursue funding. We could help with the hazard mitigation plans. We could help with the town plan. We can provide field experts, technical assistance, like all these things that you guys have been talking about this whole meeting. Like, we can incorporate that into the series. I'm hoping, so what I really want from the commission is like a clear commitment that we can have the workshop here, that you want to have the workshop here, and then,
Here in the town hall on a weekend, is that the idea?
well, it would be,
Like we would host and we would sort of host it.
yeah, and so the idea is like, I also really want to invite other municipal staff from surrounding towns.
Mhm.
Bennington, North Bennington, you know, and so what I need, like I said, what I need from you guys is like a clear, yes, we're gonna do this, let's talk about a date.
Mhm.
And then also, you know, this Vermont local government is very different than New York. So I'm in kind of uncharted territory here. And so I could use a little bit of help kind of navigating the municipal network, maybe getting some more actors at the table, like the planning board, select board, emergency management director,
Mhm.
fire department, like big landowners, farmers that we have in Pownell.
Mhm.
Mike Gardner would probably be a good one.
Yep.
The foreman.
Burrington, the highway foreman, yeah.
Yeah, so like just getting those people that really should have a seat at the table, like helping me get that coordinated. And yeah, and then the district can pretty much, we'll get people to come in and subject matter experts and people to facilitate the actual workshop and the aftermath of that as well, so.
Is there, like, do they have a date in mind or like a month or anything like that?
We were thinking originally February, I
Okay.
know that's cutting it close, so like we can push it to March or April. I mean, it really depends on what you guys. Whatever works for the town, whatever you think will give us enough time to do this, right?
Well, it's always hard getting people to come out, but like if you can get me a list of the people, the sort of town people that you might want to kind of alert about this and get involved, like I can get you contact info for everyone.
That would be great.
I don't think February is necessarily cutting it close.
No.
March gives us a little more breathing room, but really, as long as everyone's cool with going ahead with it, I think kind of whatever they think is best is fine. We can try and kind of rally people. So should we just go ahead and, I mean, should we take a vote just to say we're gonna do this? And then like, if you want to write up something on behalf of the Conservation Commission to bring the Conservation District,
Yeah.
officially saying like, we're gonna do this,
Partner, yeah.
then we can go ahead with that. Okay, cool.
I mean, I'm for it. It sounds like a great idea. I think because the select board, the planning commission has been talking about this issue or
Yeah.
very closely related. I would also encourage you maybe to get on the agenda of the planning commission, getting on.
Yeah.
Select board, because
Yeah.
it sounds like you're gonna help them do what they want.
Yeah, I
to do.
really want to get
Yeah,
everybody, like, you know.
so. I mean, we can-
And again, I don't know how to navigate like, I don't know, I don't want to go over anyone's head. Like, make sure I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to be doing it, so that I don't like make anyone mad at me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, feel free to lean on us and, yeah, I think, like making, we can, write a recommendation from the Concom to the select board saying, we want to do this, we want your support, we want you guys to come. You could go talk with them in person, you could do a public comment at a select board meeting, there's a bunch of different ways to do it.
That's, we should say that we want to do it and send a letter to the select board.
Yeah, so.
And then you present it, I guess.
Okay, so is that, how do I, so we'll write the letter and then we send it to Tara?
So yeah, I think probably the way to go then would be like, you can draft a letter on behalf of the Conservation Commission. That basically sort of lays out what we would like to, what we'd like to do. With, sort of on this project and, that. Yeah, I mean, I never know like where the permission on the select board needs to happen, but I think whether or not we need permission, it's nice to let them know what's going on and just ask.
Yeah, well, I really want them to be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
That's kind of the whole point, and I know that a lot of, municipal, I'm trying to get stipends.
You know how, because BCRC has some sort of risk management staff
Yes.
person.
Yeah, so I'm working, so the district is working with BCR.
Okay.
BCRD,
Oh, perfect.
All the acronyms.
So, select board tends to look towards them, BCRC as sort of the go-to advice person. So if you guys are working together.
Well, I've used all of their surveys in creating this.
Well, yeah, and I think it's great to say like, we want to head this up, but it sounds like really this is something like we want to get the whole town
Yeah,
infrastructure to be involved
Yeah.
in sort of participating.
Planning.
So I think that does warrant going to the select board and just sort of, it's basically anything we do is like, we as the Conservation Commission are making a recommendation
Yeah.
that you guys have a meeting where we do this thing and all of us will all attend, so maybe that's the way to do it is like sort of put it on them. It's like, you guys should be here. Because I know Jeannie's on the Conservation District Board, like she's been talking about this for a while too. So like, maybe they would want to be the ones to actually like run the thing because they've got more sway and then we could bring people from all different committees. So, but it's really up to you how you want to approach it. But I think
so
writing just a
district will be facilitating the workshop.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of, and I'm wearing two hats right now. So.
Yeah.
So the district is gonna be managing the program. The job of the district is to, it's part of our community led process. We meet with people face to face, we figure out what your resource concerns are, and then we help you fix them. And we're kind of a liaison, right? We have access to funding, we have access to data, we have all kinds of, hands in pockets, so.
Well, so why don't you, let's work together on this.
Yeah.
Why don't you kind of draft out a general idea of sort of just lay out exactly what you just laid out? Like, here's what we can do for you, here's what we want to do. And then I can kind of help you turn that into a recommendation to the select board where we can kind of identify sort of specifically what our ask for them is. And then
One of the things I think you really want to give us a time, how much time is it going to take? I think that people.
like the workshop itself,
Yes.
2 hours, right?
Yeah, so that's what it's not like formalized right now, but that's what we're thinking is a 2 hour, we'll have 1 hour and then a break and then another hour.
It's really, doable,
Okay. So and if we want to do it in February or March, we have enough time that we can write this thing. We'll look at it together in December, make sure we're all on board, and then we'll send it off to select board.
Okay.
Cool. Everyone cool with that? Okay, public comment?
Oh, my God. So this sounds an awful lot like what we just heard from BCRC is part of our role in writing our town plan, which is community engagement.
Yes.
And so it seems like working with BCRC to, meld this would just be an efficient way to do things. The timing for that sounds like we're, applying for the grant and then there's a process where we have to put out an RFP for people to do it and blah, 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 90 days. And so now we're into the end of March before we even start. So I'm just throwing out the other thing I'm thinking about is February. Well, that's when the snowstorms come and then nobody comes.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think maybe late March, early April might be
there's nothing going on in April.
Plus, it might be enough time to get BCRC engaged and so that we're really working on the same thing efficiently rather than doing multiple overlapping things.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea. So hopefully we'll have people from planning and I don't know how many committees this town has. But I'm hoping to have representatives from everywhere. At least having to do with Pownell and surrounding areas. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so maybe we can talk with them and see, maybe at least waiting until after the brutal winter just to try and there's no.
I mean, I don't know so with the town plan, if we had it in late March, would the information that you get during the workshop?
Starting the process.
Okay, so it would actually be really helpful for you guys if it was in like March or April.
That's what I just learned.
Cool.
Okay, I think that's fine, and I don't mind having a little bit of extra time to get my ducks in order, so.
Okay.
Couple other little comments. Just, I wanted to just expand a little bit on what Tom said about the Act 250 in case there was a misunderstanding. Some towns are doing this exemption because it makes the process for a developer easier and less expensive. What the town has to do in return for that is take on some of that work.
Mm.
And as we went through the debate about what does that mean and what staff do we need and how much does it cost and what happens if something goes wrong, then at the very end, we learned if a developed, so one step before that, there are very few projects that we could envision happening in Pownell that actually would get hit by this because of the size of them and how few parcels there are that would qualify. And then the last thing that we heard, which made it really clear to us that we could say no, was that if something comes up and a developer comes in and says, can we do it the fast track way, we can change our mind and go to it at any point in the future. So it's still wide open for us to do that. We just are not embracing it as a starting place. We're going with Act 250, which is comprehensive and covers us and they do all the work. In terms of the scoping study, is Tara the point or who is working with the people? I mean, because I know there's some things from the planning commission that they're excited about, some things they're really would like to see maybe not talked about. And I don't know if that parallels you or not, but I'm just wondering where the input is to share it.
Good question. I think we'll know more once we have this kind of preliminary meeting, but like Tara's name is on the, like, Tom and I kind of wrote the grant, but like the name that's on the application is Tara. So she is going to be the point person for it and we will all be kind of supporting her. Right? It's the way that that's going to work.
So I should know.
But I would say that, I think that's a really good question is, so we have this chunk of money, like what's it actually for? And I'm a little worried. It sounds like if someone else is shaping what it's going to be used for already, and we've lost. I want someone to keep a hand on it, other than just hear BCRC do something with it. And I get the sense of that now. For instance, I thought it was to see if we could get Route 7, that chunk of it, reclassified as a Class 1 road so that we could do things that we can't do now with it. Crosswalks, speed limit reductions, that kind of thing. I haven't heard anything about that lately, so I'm worried that that's gone.
Oh, no, I just think there hasn't really been any talk. Like, I think we just haven't gotten to that point because
Are you sure? Because it's the way Scott was talking tonight, they're picking it up and running with it already.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so yeah, I mean, I haven't heard that. Like, I assumed, like, because, like when we wrote in the grant application, like we were somewhat general about what we wanted to do, but we did mention specifically that. So I don't know how far they can stray from that, and I also don't know how much control we'll have over it.
And I'm right with you, and I think that's where I was going too, is that maybe you and I could sit down with Tara and say, how do we figure out what we're asking them to do?
If nothing else, how can we keep up to speed is what's happening? Okay.
Yeah, and Scott's a good guy. I mean, I'm sure he'd be happy to sit down with us. Yeah.
My last question was about the rain barrels. Is this a Vermont program?
No.
Okay, because having been former manager at Wild Oats, they did a rain barrel program 30 years ago, which was very successful. Actually, they did composters too. And it's just another place where you could actually expand the number of things you sell, which helps bring the price down. If we engage with them or other organizations like that in Bennington or elsewhere, but they would be an obvious one in my mind.
Yeah, and they worked with a local place that developed that sold the grain barrels and composters so cheap.
They did a program where they basically communicated to the membership and the shoppers at large that we were buying these things and you could sign up to buy.
Yeah, that's how it works too, but I don't know if they do composters.
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting that. I just figured a way to maybe expand the rain barrel program and make it more cost effective.
Yeah.
Cool. I see Jim Kostis has his hand up. Hey, Jim.
He says unmute himself.
Oh, Jim, I guess you just gotta unmute yourself and then you can go ahead.
Oh, Jim, I guess you just gotta unmute yourself and then you can go ahead.
Oh, Jim, I guess you just gotta unmute yourself and then you can go ahead. Oh, Jim, I guess you just gotta unmute yourself and then you can go ahead.
He says unmute himself.
Oh, there you are. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, sorry, it's a new way everything's going, and I think it's very nice. First of all, Tom, could you please introduce me to the lady to your left? Because I'm very impressed with what she has mentioned, and I unfortunately didn't get her name when the roll call is happening.
You can introduce
Do
yourself.
you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Ashley.
Ashley, I first of all, I really appreciate. I was thinking about what you were saying prior to you coming on and saying what you're saying, because unfortunately, I think there is a total dysfunction of the whole town between all of the different committees and boards and everything else like that, that needs to be brought together. There is an economic development board out there that I never even heard about. Or I only saw it because I was trying to figure out what is the purpose of the Conservation Commission, and there was nothing on the town website that said anything about what you guys do. Yes, you have a huge agenda. Thanks to Nate. Nate, you love to touch base on everything, which I think is great because we need to have outside the box thinking on Pownell. Pownell has just been going the way it's been going for the past 20, 30. I've been in town 35 years and it's the same. But I really appreciate what was said about pulling all the committees together. I'm not sure, unfortunately, it's a political aspect, but it needs something like the area at the American Legion where everyone can get together with the fire department, all the different committees, all the different boards, people that can just show up to just find out where do we want this town to go forward. And that would help out the planning. It would help out the conservation. It would help out the board. But first of all, I want to compliment you people that are on the board, because I don't know you people. And that's a great thing, because you people are the new ones that are coming into town to make this town move forward. And I'll be honest, it's time that these new people come in and get on the boards to help us move in the right direction. I appreciate Tom. I appreciate Nate's father. I think it's Dave. I appreciate everyone that is now speaking up to move this town forward. And I think I think I said enough, because I'm very excited about Pownell moving forward if more people would just stand up. But thank you very much for everyone.
Great, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Yep, we're excited too. Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for sticking around late. I think if there's no other things to, I'm going to send around a proposal I have about Green-Up Day that I've been working on with David, for folks to look at in between this meeting and the next, and we can talk about it at the next meeting.
So that's when you plan for your big cleanups.
Well, yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, the idea, the very quick version is just to try and kind of get some volunteers together to help offer to do some cleanups for folks that aren't physically or financially or whatever able to do it themselves. So we can get into that at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn from somebody?
Motion.
Second?
Yep.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kate.